Justice League of America #1, written by Jeff Johns, art by David Finch. So, 5 years ago, at the very end of Darkseid War, we got a glimpse of these two, oh, hey, two supervillains, and they're saying, oh, the superheroes are coming out. What do we do? And the guy's like, oh, I guess they'll call us supervillains. But then we get the extra bit of one of the guys is named Professor Ivo, and the other guy has a map to make. So, that's that. Anyway, cutting into the present, we have a man who's named Dark Hunter is running through the woods, and he's like, I'm going to die today because I'm being hunted down by the Justice League. And we see Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman chasing after him, like firing laser beams and crap like that. And they say, oh, I can still hear him breathing. Our creator wants him dead. So then we cut to Steve Trevor and Amanda Waller in an office, and it's just the opening of the Suicide Squad movie, but for Justice League of America, where they're just deliberating on who's going to be on this crazy team. But first we get her having to talk down to Steve Trevor, being like, hey, I'm now the liaison to the Justice League because I volunteered to be. And as such, I think that we need a Justice League of America because we need someone that's able to fight against the Justice League if they ever went rogue. And Steve is just basically like, that's stupid, and I don't know why you need me here. And he's like, well, you knew about Wonder Woman. You two were close, and then you were left behind. And he's like, yeah, okay, again, I'm kind of over that part. And she's like, yeah, how over it are you? We got this from Justice League International. And she flips around and shows a picture of Wonder Woman and Superman kissing. And Trevor's like, I don't care. Well, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Anyway, what happens to the world if Wonder Woman, being a freedom fighter and all, convinces Superman to be a little bit more forward-thinking? Or even worse, they break up? What happens to the world then, Trevor? And he's like, all right, fine, what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, all right, well, here's your team. And she passes over a folder to Trevor, who's like, why are we going all low-tech? And be like, because Cyborg is in all the tech. Clearly we want to be low-tech for this. Come on, man, think. And we start off with Hawkman, who's chasing down a criminal down the streets and says, like, I have you now, Biff. And the guy's like, Biff, my name's not Biff. And he's like, well, it's going to be Biff if I pull you in for judgment, Biff. And he calls into Thanagarian police saying that he's gotten a space criminal named Biff Rock. And the guy's like, that's not who I am. Oh, geez, you're a crazy man. And Hawkman raises his mace, and turns out that Steve Trevor and Amanda Waller, he's willing to work with them so long as they provide diplomatic immunity for him to continue on with his ability to work as a Thanagarian police officer, which, to be fair, is not what's going on in Hawkman's book at the moment, so I have no idea where they're pulling this from. Then we cut to Katana, and he's like, hold on, Katana is like a murder lady. And it's like, yep, her husband was the deadliest assassin according to the government, and now it's tied between either her or Deathstroke. But she's willing to help us because we can give her revenge on the people who murdered her family. Read her book, please. It's practically written on the page. Then we cut to Vibe, and she says, Trevor's like, who the hell is Vibe? And she's just like, read his book, please. But then we see Vibe, there's someone screaming that they got robbed. Vibe immediately pops out of an alley and just like, I got it, and knocks over the guy. Turns out it's a kid, and he stole a candy bar, and Vibe's like, serious? Jesus, all right. Well, he gives the shop owner a $1 and then lets the kid go free. And Vibe's talking to his brother like, why am I on the Justice League of America? And his brother's like, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. So at that point, Steve Trevor's like, why is he on the Justice League of America? And Waller's like, I believe in him, and so should you. Then we cut back to the Dark Hunter, and he's like, God, if you're real, give me a sign so that I don't die in this jungle to the Justice League. And then nothing happens, and Dark Hunter goes, screw you, God, I'll do it anyway. Then we cut to L.A., where we're talking about our next person, which is apparently a celebrity who's done, like, no movies or anything like that. She's literally just celebrity for being a superhero, and it's Stargirl. And she has a cosmic staff, which apparently is like one of the most powerful weapons on the planet. And so she's perfect for image sakes. And as it turns out, the reason Waller wants her is because A, they know her real identity. It was Courtney Whitmore, a high school student. B, she sleeps with all the lights on, so clearly she has some issues to work through. And B, they know the identity of her biological father, which they can, I don't know, use against her. And then we just get a flash of a few more. Martian Manhunter, which Steve is like, that's a bad idea because he already got kicked out of the normal Justice League. Simon Baz, who at this point is still a wanted terrorist. And Green Arrow, which Steve Trevor's like, yeah, I kind of had a backup with him where I sort of suggested Justice League, but like it wasn't on the books yet. So also sounds like a bad idea. And Amanda Waller's like, well, where do we get our Batman-esque character? And he's like, I got an idea. So then we cut to a hotel where Catwoman's breaking into. Steve Trevor just inside waiting in the room. They get into a brief fight until Steve Trevor's like, yeah, okay, here's the deal, Catwoman. Somebody stole your identity of Selena Kyle, and you're scared of them, but I got their real name. Interested? And Selena's like, sure. So now they've got a 1-to-1 matchup of everybody on the team. And then Green Arrow's just their wild card, I guess. But then it's like, all right, cool. So let's go ahead and set the team up basically for tomorrow. You're in charge of finding Martian Manhunter. And she goes off to find Green Lantern Simon Baz because he's technically busy in Jeff Johns' stories. So at that point, Steve looks around the room and says, you can come out now, Jean. Turns out Martian Manhunter's been there the whole time. And he's like, how'd you know I was here? And he's like, you're always here the whole time whenever we're talking about you. Anyway, are you in? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. But know this, if you mess with me at all, I'm wiping everybody's minds. And Trevor's like, yeah, all right, sure. So at that point, he gets called down. Turns out a guy's come back. It's the Dark Hunter, but he's in really bad shape. He's probably not going to make to it. Steve runs up being like, this man has information and I need it before he dies. And as they unmask the Dark Hunter, turns out it's Green Arrow. And Green Arrow says, hey, they call themselves the Secret Society, and the guy heading it up, and then the heart monitor goes flat and Green Arrow seemingly dies. But judging by how he's on the cover of every single issue in this trade paperback, I don't think he's dead. So, yeah, Justice League of America. I mean, this issue had to happen. We had to get introduced to all the new characters, Stargirl, and all the other people who already have a book and therefore didn't really need introductions. But, it's okay. It's not setting me up with a whole lot of like, wow, I'm so enthusiastic to read it. But it is at least interesting. I just wish that it wasn't quite literally Justice League International again. Like, all the reasoning is the same. Of, what if Justice League go bad? We need other Justice League. If you were going to do that, just don't cancel Justice League International. Like, I understand you weren't happy with the lineup, but you could have just rotated out. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Overall, though, this one, art style looks good. Writing paced well. I'm down for it. I'm going to give it a 7 flat. It's got issues. It does have some issues, but hey, it's a comic book. Of course it's going to have issues.